Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, trying to come back in the Republican race, unveiled his new economic plan at a campaign stop in New Hampshire today. He's calling it, quote, the Declaration of Economic Independence. The Florida governor claims the plan would bring 3% annual growth to the U.S. CBS News political reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now from Concord, New Hampshire. He's been on top of the DeSantis campaign for months now. Aaron, I feel like you're here on the campaign trail more than in Washington, D.C. Give us your real inside read as someone who tracks this every day. Is this a major development for him to release an economic plan, or is it just an attempt to get a little bit of a buzz?
I would lean more towards an attempt to get a little bit of a buzz. Now, the campaign says that this economic plan will be a cornerstone of his race and his argument to voters, but a lot of it is in line with what we've heard from other presidential candidates: cutting government spending, cutting reliance on Chinese supply chains. Now, he had some interesting bits in here that kind of are in line with some of his usual policies, saying that corporations that have diversity, equity, and inclusion policies will be investigated by the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Department, and also targeting banks that do environmental social governance investments, or ESG. That's been a pretty hot topic among Republicans. But, it's him kind of staking his ground when it comes to the economy. But as you noted, and as we've seen in the polls, he still has a lot of ground to make between him and former President Trump.
But in American politics, especially in a summer before a presidential campaign and months before any contest, you never rule anybody out, at least I don't, as a reporter. But this is a tough race, as you say, Aaron. Former President Trump, he took a swipe at the DeSantis campaign over the weekend. Based on your reporting, how has the Florida governor been responding?
Yeah, I was at the Trump rally in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I was counting. Trump spent about 10 minutes straight going after DeSantis, showing polls of DeSantis down on the Jumbotron screen, saying that DeSantis needs to, drop out because he's so down in the polls. I asked the governor about Trump's attacks. Take a listen to what the governor had to say.
If you're up by so much, you would not be worried about anybody else. So the fact that I'm taking the incoming from all of these people, not just him, but a lot of the other candidates, a lot of the media, that shows people know that I'm a threat.
Now, DeSantis in the past has gone after Trump when it comes to policy. But the question I've had is, how is he going to attack Trump's rhetoric and character? That's something we hear from Republican voters, that they like Trump's policies. They just are kind of put off by his behavior. And DeSantis seemed to lean into that yesterday in New Hampshire, saying that Trump's attacks were juvenile and aren't going to win votes when it comes to the general election.
What's next for Governor DeSantis? Where does he go from here?
Well, tomorrow he's in Concord to do more retail stops. But in general, what I've heard from him and the campaign and allies is he's going to be doing more of these retail stops, doing more engagements with press in Iowa and New Hampshire specifically, that they think that they can build momentum in those two critical states. So we're going to be seeing a lot of him out in the trail, a bit more maybe than when he first launched his campaign. And in terms of his campaign shakeup, he has shed a lot of personnel in the last few weeks. Have you seen any real-time effect of all of that when you're tracking his campaign? Is it more of a shoestring operation, a bit leaner? How do you see it? Well, in the stops I've been to in New Hampshire, they're not necessarily these big rallies that he had in that first week. They're more intimate events, him just going to restaurants, coffee shops, and not necessarily needing all of the personnel with him there to put on a big production. And I asked him, do you like retail politicking? And he pointed to these events as being important for his campaign, kind of making them more direct contact with voters. And that's probably the biggest telltale of the cuts I've seen so far.
And one of the things I have to say about Governor DeSantis in his recent days is he did go to Brown's Lobster Pound in New Hampshire. And I think whether you're a reporter, a candidate, this is a great place to visit. I go there every time I'm in New Hampshire. Not an endorsement. I just like Brown's Lobster Pound. People forget New Hampshire has a great seacoast. Were you there at all, Aaron, or were you busy with Trump and Erie?
Oh, I was there. I was there shooting a video of DeSantis holding lobsters, talking to people. It smelled great in there. I didn't get the chance to eat, but I'm hopeful I'll be back.
I'm hopeful we can be back there together. Aaron Navarro, thank you very much. Appreciate your reporting.